Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC remains in a super tight sideways range. I made a big stink about this in the last video, and I need you guys to understand something really simple about price action. The tighter the price action, the worse it is. So if price action is stalling and volume continues to fall, so price action stalling, volume falling, we should expect the price to also fall as well. Now, we don't have confirmation of that yet. If we look on the price here for BTC, we have a local low, loosely local, like it's just a couple days ago on Saturday, at $67,300. Yesterday, Bitcoin finally dropped a bit lower at 1.85%. Again, it's inevitable. I hate the slow grind, to be honest. I would much rather the big, 40-year-old virgin pulling off that whatever, the wax off of the chest. That's what I want, a big Band-Aid pull, not this weak little, like struggle all the way down. Anyway, the main thing that I'm expecting to happen next, we saw a massive drop. We've seen a bounce. The next logical thing to see happen next is not a push up higher. That was it. Our pivot high is here at about $72,000. What I'm expecting to see happen next is a low that's going to be just above the open on Friday last week. No, it's not going to go back in time. That'd be really weird. And actually, we're probably going to see a push up here. Something like this is what I'm expecting. And for all of you that are super keen and you've been watching my videos, you know that this is essentially going to be the start of yet another bear flag. A bear flag is extremely deceiving because it looks bullish, because we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. It's going to feel really good. Just like this big bear flag over here felt really good for quite a while. There was confidence growing again from the low on the 21st of November to the 18th of December 2025. But clearly, we saw a massive break of this bear flag that happened on the 20th of January. And right here, this day, Wednesday the 28th, notice this little weak candle. It comes up, smacks previously lost support, confirming as resistance. What happens the next day? Plunges lower. On Thursday, the 29th at 89K, it falls all the way down to 60K over 9 days. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm expecting to happen next for BTC. The problem is that we don't have that higher low yet. So this is just a theory. Now, the other thing to consider, we're going to go over here to the weekly time frame, is that we have two confirmed broken artificial supports. One at 80,000. Let me turn that off so we can see a lot clearer. $80,600, which was taken out 2 weeks ago. And last week, the 75-ish K level was taken out, which is the low from April 7th, 2025. We have an existing historical pivot low at $49,000. Don't worry, that's most likely coming. We also have this pivot low here that's created from last week's low at 60K. Notice how a lot of these pivot lows are around round numbers. $60,000, $80,000, $75,000, $49,000, $39,000, $31,000. Okay? The last one here at the bottom is the weirdest one, admittedly. And it's also really flimsy too because it's off of a pivot high. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, the idea remains the same. These artificial supports will be systematically taken out one by one. Just like these two were taken out, the next target is 60K. I don't expect it to happen quickly for the same reason that this took this drop here on the 17th of November. We saw the price chug sideways for, actually until it was broken, for 11 weeks. So please hear me out. I don't expect a quick drop down. It could take some time. Does that change anything though? Even if Bitcoin happens to go up a little bit higher, does that change anything? No. We are still macro bearish on the daily time frame according to the TBO, the trending breakout indicators, topmost line here when it's bearish, which is the slow line, which is pointing down. And we also have the price below the cloud, which is the same thing as if we were to add the Ichimoku cloud. Adding the Ichimoku cloud is extremely similar, right? Let me hide this so we can see. So right now, the price of Bitcoin is well below the cloud, which is way up here. It's this green and red pinkish mass. And it looks much more jagged because it's how Ichimoku works. This is why I prefer the TBO, because it's just a little bit prettier, but both of them are still bearish. Doesn't matter what indicator you put on this thing, Bitcoin is still strong bearish. So our next target, or my next expectation, is a higher low around $63,000, maybe lower, I don't know, but around this range. I don't expect the price of Bitcoin, though, to drop below 60K immediately, because usually we'll put in a low, like back over here. See this low? We shot up about 15% over about 8 days, and then it dropped. That was our next low, so about 11 days later. Okay, so we are still only on day 6. And I know that says 5 bars. Trust me, TradingView does not count the first bar. So for whatever reason, okay? Ethereum, again, failing to break above and close above the 2111 level, the previous support level, which was, as I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, I'll say it as many times as you guys need to hear it. This was a very, very important level for Ethereum. If I turn off the TBO, you can clearly see so many moments where Ethereum bounced off of this level back on the 16th of June, 2025, the 3rd of February, 2025, 5th of August, 2024, back over here, January 2024, December 2023, getting rejected in November 2023, getting rejected in April 2023. 2111 was a big deal. So if that's the case, then seeing what we're seeing right now is not good. Es no bueno, right? So because we lost that massive level of support, it makes the most sense to see Ethereum drop lower. Does it mean that I think Ethereum's going to go lower right now today? Not necessarily, but is it heading down here to TBO support at what, 1573? Is it heading down here to this next artificial support at 1385? When? I don't know. The last time this happened, and we can go ahead and plot out what might happen based off of the previous drop from our open short to our next dump, which is already pretty disastrous. And that happened over the course of 6 weeks. So maybe something like this could happen. If I were to stretch this out, it almost fits that, but that's again trying to backfit to fit our narrative moving forward. I don't think something like that's going to happen. I think it might take a little bit longer. The other thing to consider in all of this is that it's still February. And if we go back to 2022, to the previous bear market, which is really, really important. I keep doing this because you guys need to know this stuff. You need to see it to believe it. I'm serious. Okay, so let me just hide everything. We know that over here in 2022, we saw Ethereum drop from 35, 33, all the way down here over 10 weeks to June, down 75%. That was a brutal, brutal drop. The reason why there was so much downside dropping here for Ethereum from April to June is because there was systemic collapse and contagion in crypto. We don't have any of that yet. I don't know if we're going to have it, but the main thing is that, yes, usually we see some sort of drop and then we see a little bit of a bounce. Like back over here in January, we saw it move up higher. In March, move up higher here in February, move up higher in April before we really fell lower. And even during this period from June 2022 until Bitcoin actually started to recover in the first week of January, there were many recoveries. There were many big bounces that happened. After the market kind of sort of bottomed out, Ethereum actually ran up almost 93% from the week of the 27th of July. Is that what it is? Oh, June, all the way up here to August. So please hear me out. Markets do not move in one direction forever. When the momentum is strong, absolutely. And trust me, the TBO is not lying to us. We had lots of bearish energy right now, and it's also with RSI. The relative strength index is right now at 19.70. This is lower than our pivot low here in March 2025 at 20.60. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that if we see weekly RSI, particularly, or any RSI, meet or exceed a previous extreme low or an extreme high, that's a sign of strength to either direction. So for example, back over here, December 2nd, 2024, we had a high of 78.64. And then we saw here, July 2025, we saw RSI shoot up all the way up to 84.69. So when we see RSI making these new extreme highs. That is an extremely important signal that we're going to see a bigger push. It's going to last a little bit longer than the previous move. So we can now take this and invert it for the bearish side of things, which is okay. So again, 2060 back on the 31st of March, 2025. Right now we're at 1970. What does this mean? It means if this weekly candle, which still has about 5 days left, if this closes below the previous pivot low, we should be expecting Ethereum to drop down to our artificial supports at 1537. Actually, it's TBO support, then 1385. Maybe it's going to be a quick dip all the way down. And yes, I'm one of those crazy people that is still expecting Ethereum to drop down to at least $1,000, if not lower, this time around. Ethereum has been such a terrible performer. I am shocked and embarrassed for Tom Lee, who keeps buying Ethereum, a currency that literally has no cap. They can print as much Ethereum as they want. Why are they buying it? Why? I don't want to know, because I don't want to get inside that head. It's like all of you sick people that love watching those murder mystery documentaries about psychopathic killers and stuff like that. It's like, why do you guys like watching that stuff? Like, it's just messed up. Like, I know they exist. I don't want to know how they think. It's the same thing with Tom Lee. I don't want to know how he thinks. I don't want to know why his TA analyst was calling for Ethereum at $100,000 this cycle. I don't want to. I want to keep my mind pure. Okay, I want to dwell on things that are good and holy and pleasing, not whatever Tom Lee's analyst is thinking about. Oh my gosh, I gotta have fun somehow, right? I'm literally in a room by myself. No one is here. I can be as loud as I want. It's hilarious. And I'm sure my Japanese neighbor on the side, who I'm pretty sure is a gamer, which is really funny. And I think he might actually have a YouTube channel too. I'm so curious to ask, but I don't want to, because that's like NG. You don't do that here. But he has friends over, and I hear him. I hear him playing games, and I hear him talking a lot like I do, but super duper late at night. So I wonder if he's streaming. That'd be so funny. But I know he doesn't wake up early like this, and today's a holiday, so I'm going to be extra. Sorry. Again, I have too much fun by myself. That's okay. That's the way. All right, here we go. Stablecoin dominance remains strong bullish. How dare you? I actually saw some really interesting comments from people asking about this, and I get at least 1 or 2 comments per video asking me, dude, why do you keep focusing on this? Because of companies like Circle, because of Tether, because they're just printing more stable coins. Do you really feel like this is going to be an accurate barometer or climate analysis? That's a really weird way to put it. Is stablecoin dominance still going to be valid to determine fear or greed for crypto with all of the new stable coins and all this other stuff? Yes. It's simple. It's so simple. This is why I don't understand why you guys don't get it. And it's totally fine. Okay. Let me see if I can get a better drawing tool for today. Class. Where is it? I know I have shapes. Where are my shapes? Circle. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Look at that circle. That is a happy circle. Okay. So this is crypto dominance. All right. We know that crypto dominance is awesome, apparently. So crypto dominance is mostly absorbed by Bitcoin. So if we just draw this thing right in half, that's actually not, that's not accurate, because Bitcoin dominance is actually 59%. So we actually have to draw to the middle, and then something like this, which is going to look really, really bad. So all of this right here is BTC, okay? And then stablecoin dominance is actually a pretty small chunk. It's only about 11% right now. 11%? It's already at 11%? If we add up a lot of other, you'll see why I'm laughing in a second, dominance levels together, it kind of sort of adds up to 100%. Don't worry about the specifics, okay? It's just the concept, okay? And then this is like others, all this other stuff, alts. Then we have Bitcoin and stablecoins. So if we put these together, this is now 80% of the market. Actually, this line right here is not accurate. 80% of the market is basically going to look something like this. So our O section is going to be like right over here. So this is our stablecoin dominance. The problem that you guys don't see with this is that It doesn't matter if stablecoin issuers are putting more stables into the ecosystem. The reality is that dominance is going to fluctuate. It's going to move as the market changes. And when the market is extremely bullish, you're going to see money, hence stables, decreasing. We're going to see this amount go less and less and less. Why? Because this money is just like this, okay? As you can see, this is moving and it's not, I can't really rotate it, but you get the idea, right? If we're seeing less and less for stables, it has to be going somewhere, okay? And it's going to be going to most likely others. So this is how this works, okay? Let me delete all this because it's super annoying. It's just two, right? It's just Bitcoin dominance and stablecoin dominance. When stablecoin dominance is going up and Bitcoin dominance is going up, then that circle, that amount in the middle, there's less available for others, right? And it keeps getting shrunk over and over and over till there's basically nothing left for others. But when we have the best case scenario, which is when stablecoin dominance is dropping and Bitcoin dominance is dropping, then that big chunk, again, stablecoin dominance and Bitcoin dominance, 80%, when we see it down to something like 60% total, then that means the others category is ballooned. This means that money is going away from Bitcoin, away from stables, and into alts, okay? It's that simple. So why was I laughing before that it's at 11%? I'm laughing because I remember over here, just literally a couple months ago, we saw it start to push up from 6%. We've seen it increase from 6% to 11%. That's a 78% increase over, let's see, October, so November, December, January, about 3.5 months. How much pain and downside have we seen since then? A lot. So the problem right now is that we are still not close to topping out. We're kind of there, but we're not. The next real significant resistance level here is at about 13%, which is 17% higher. And I expect stablecoin dominance to push up to about 18%, another 66% higher. Okay? The reason why this is such a big deal is because stablecoin dominance, even though I know that there's stablecoin issuers and there's always going to be this idea of like, no way, man, this isn't accurate. It's okay. Go for it. It's fine. I've been doing this a lot longer than most of you. Some of you came way before me, but I've been studying charts almost every single day for the last 8 years, especially focusing on crypto. This is something that it's just a fact, okay? So you can buck the trend, but understand that the trend is telling us that stablecoin dominance should be bullishly pumping up higher and higher and higher. Will we get these little pullbacks to the fast line right here from the TBO? Sure. Just like we saw like back over here, we saw a little pullback, we saw a pullback here, we saw a pullback here, here a pullback, there a pullback, everywhere a pullback. But then what happens? Then we get a breakout to a new all-time high and everybody has to change their diapers. Bitcoin dominance continues to look pretty bearish, actually. And again, this is something really interesting as well. I just explained it, but it's worth pointing out again. The one thing you have to understand about Bitcoin dominance is that compared to the other dominances like Ethereum dominance, Solana dominance, XRP dominance, Bitcoin dominance is different because Bitcoin can be closing lower like it did yesterday, but actually we saw an increase for Bitcoin dominance. Why? Bitcoin dominance most accurately reflects the demand of Bitcoin. Whereas Ethereum dominance, XRP dominance, Solana dominance, all these are really closely tied to price action. And that's very fickle. Yes, I did say fickle. So I am expecting Bitcoin dominance to fall in a similar way that we saw it fall over here on Thursday. And again, Thursday is when we saw that epic drop. Okay. So there are moments where we will see Bitcoin dominance dump a lot. And we did see it kind of rebound. Yes, we did see it kind of rebound on Friday the 6th and on Sunday the 8th. But still, I am expecting Bitcoin dominance to fall lower. It's looking quite bearish. How low? I actually don't know. I had initially said maybe it will bottom out here around 42%. But at this rate, given how many people have been burned by alts this cycle, I don't actually think it's going to fall that low. But there is long-term support from a low here in 2018 to low here in 2022 at about 42%, which would be a massive decline. And what I'm trying to say here without saying it, because I don't want to give away too much, is that you guys know how painful it's been to not be a Bitcoin holder for this entire period in 2024, 2023, sorry, 2023, 2024, 2025, Bitcoin has held up the most. I think people are learning their lesson. So I'm saying that I don't know if it's going to fall that low. There is extreme support here. Maybe it falls down that low. But the main thing is that Bitcoin dominance, I think, will actually remain pretty strong. I think it's going to stay pretty resilient this time, which is different. I'm not used to seeing it do this. Now, others' dominance continues to show some bullish strength. It's only because there are some outliers that are doing just a little bit better than Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin is up 0.29% of the day. So we have other coins outside of the top 10, which is others, up like 1% today. Some are up like 5 or 10%. So we have some outliers, right? Not everything. So the reason why others' dominance is looking bullish is because of the outliers. That's it. The main thing that you need to know is that our overhead TBO resistance that was established back here, right here, on the 14th of September 2025 at 8.33 dropped dramatically on Sunday from 8.33 down to 7.39. What's the big deal? That's a huge drop in resistance. Just like this big drop right here in resistance was a really big deal. It marked a very strong pivot high. Even though they got pushed up higher for Bitcoin here on the 15th of January, it was a very strong pivot high. That's what I'm expecting this to be, is a pivot high moment, and we're going to see others' dominance fall on the next leg lower. So yes, others' dominance is seeing that same thing happen. Resistance is falling, and then TBO resistance is getting pushed up. It got pushed up on Friday, so we have a new higher pivot high. It is technically strong bullish, but I'm not buying it, literally. Now, on the TradFi front, nothing really major has changed. The S&P futures is still on top of the cloud, still in strong bullish mode. On the weekly time frame, it's still bullish above the weekly cloud. It's hard to ignore the fact that all 4 lines of the TBO on the weekly time frame are pointing up independently, which means they're all strong, or actually this chart is just massively strong bullish, okay? So even if we get a pullback, it's a buy the dip moment. Now we do have some bearish warnings. TBT bearish divergence clusters, 3 of them between the 8th of December 2025 until the 12th of January of this year, 2026. The price is also struggling at historical TBO existing TBO resistance at 69.66. Can it go up higher? Maybe, but I'm concerned that RSI is not pushing up higher. It's still kind of struggling below 60. It's not bad. I'm also looking at on-balance volume, which we had a high over here on the 2nd of December 2024. Again, this is weekly on-balance volume. We did see a pierce of it, 2 of them, on the 22nd of December, and then here on the 5th of January to make a higher high. But look at what's happened. Last week, we saw on-balance volume close below this white moving average here, just like back over here, just like back on the 6th of January. What happened after that? We saw one more push up higher, but unfortunately, we saw the tariffs do their work and S&P crashed big time. We had some warning signs here from TBT divergence. Now we have clusters, which are even bigger warnings. I'm still really, really conflicted about the S&P and TradFi because of the PMI numbers being so bullish. So it's difficult to say, but I can't ignore those kinds of signals. Now, on this side of the world, in Japan, the Nikkei continues to push higher and higher. Today, it put in a new all-time high at 58,480, very clearly saying that everyone is excited about Takaichi Sanae. For those that don't know Japanese, Takaichi is her last name. Sanae is her first name, but you never use first names, so it's always Takaichi-san. But even that, I'm pretty sure she has an honorary term. I won't say sama because that would be really weird. But she is the Prime Minister of Japan, and she won the like a midterm election or like a snap election that happened on Sunday, and the market is booming because of that, because people in Japan love her, and apparently people are very bullish on what she has to offer for Japan, which is great. And she plays the drums, which, come on, isn't that cool? Nvidia is okay, but I almost feel like Michael Jackson here. Nvidia, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Nvidia? Because it's I'm having too much fun today. It's really trapped in sideways price action right here. If we kind of make this a boxed range from the low on the 25th of November and to this high here on, we'll take this high here on the 30th of January, it's just staying trapped. This is a really big range. It's 12%. It's not the same as Bitcoin struggling in a tight range, but it's really weird to see Nvidia struggling this much. Now, I don't follow earnings. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't have time for that stuff. All I'm doing is paying attention to the charts. And I'll tell you that the TBO, even though the price is pushed above, and it's above the cloud, so it's strong bullish. We have an open long confirmed. Yay, cool. The main concern I have is that the cloud has compressed massively. So measuring the bottom side of the cloud to the top side, it's under 2% for Nvidia. Typically, when the cloud compresses this much, there's going to be an explosive move. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I know that this is something to be wary of. And wary is the right word. Not afraid, but just alert. And we also have very clearly descending weekly RSI. It's not strong bullish. Even though on-balance volume is technically bullish and volume is still kind of sort of holding up, Nvidia is stalling here, admittedly. GameStop is still above overhead resistance, which is wild. It's still looking good in terms of volume, and specifically on-balance volume. One thing that's interesting to note, again, look at that. So we're failing to see GameStop push above the high that was established in terms of on-balance volume on the 1st of October 2025. It pierced it slightly on Monday, last week on the 2nd. On-balance volume is super bullish, but we're not really seeing that excitement anymore. It had a good breakout, but does it have enough energy to push up higher? I don't know. It's strong bullish, so it could. On the weekly time frame, it's above the weekly cloud. I don't know. I'm not buying it personally, but as in like the move and if it has any strength to it. But it is interesting to note. Tesla, this one is right back up to resistance and the fast line. Look at that. So this is the resistance level we drew yesterday. The price fell below the cloud. Now it's back inside of the cloud in bullish consolidation, up 10% over the last 6 days, the last 4 trading days. And it hit resistance at 427. Now, here's the deal. If Tesla can break above resistance, cool. That's a great sign of strength. And look, on-balance volume is about to cross up above its moving average. Cool. The only thing to remember is that it's still in consolidation mode. It's bullish consolidation, so we should be expecting some of this kind of price action, but inevitably going above the top of the cloud. Gold is still looking, whoops, I need to lock that. That was really weird. There we go. Gold is still looking okay. It's stalling, admittedly, here above the cloud. But again, this is strong bullish on the daily, strong bullish on the weekly. Is interest dying? Yes, because people likely got burned on the parabolic blow off top. Gosh, if only someone would have warned everybody. Silver confirmed a third TBO breakdown. This is not good. Now, I still expect silver to do well, but I can't turn a blind eye to this. Seeing 3 TBO close longs print within 6-7 bars of each other is a bad sign that this is going to see way more downside continuation. We might even see another drop down here to like 60 or so before we rebound higher. Now, on the weekly, it's still massively bullish. It's had a huge reset in terms of RSI, where it closed last week at 53.8. Huge drop in on-balance volume, huge drop in volume as well in general. Inevitably, it will bounce. But it's gonna take a lot longer for it to pick up. Uranium, as I mentioned yesterday, it did push above overhead resistance, which is cool. It's above the cloud, yay. But this is what we're supposed to do when we see a TBO close long. It's a 4 hour, so it's pretty fast. But if we're opening, or rather we have a long position from the TBO back over here on the 22nd of December. So we would be in total up 49%, but let's say we didn't take any profit yet. When we get a close long, it's saying, the bullish uptrend might be reversing soon. So when the price returns back to the fast line, consider taking out some profits. So we don't sell on the fear at 21%. We sell on the bounce to the fast line at 29%. You get it? So yes, it's above overhead resistance, but is there enough momentum for it to push up higher? I don't know. Now I have way more that I want to share with you. And I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. We're going to go right to it. But before we do, go to thebettertraders.com, check the description, look at the pinned comments down below so you can learn more about our courses, whether it's 15 minutes to financial freedom or advanced courses. But again, those are just for people that have really taken 15 minutes to financial freedom. Not that you have to, but it really does help. And these are advanced for a reason. So don't start here. Start here. Don't start with the MPI or TST courses. Start with 15 minutes. And the courses do come with a trial to the TBO indicator, as well as a trial to the Better Traders Club. Again, the TBO, the Trending Breakout Indicator, is the best trading view indicator I've ever used. It's great for identifying the strength of the trend, reversals, upcoming reversals, support, resistance levels, breakouts, breakdowns. We're going to be looking at a lot of that stuff in the picks today. Plus, our journal has been redone. So we've reprinted it or made it print on demand. I'm still waiting on my hardcover copy, but I have my paperback cover or copy, which is really great. So now that I have it, it's cool. And you guys can order it from anywhere in the world. So if you do get a copy of it and you like it, consider, after you use it, of course, consider leaving us a review. And if you're still looking for an exchange to use for trading, check out 2bit. You don't have to fill out their KYC and you can deposit and withdraw, I think, up to 50,000 USDT per day legally, 100% legally. And they allow people from the United States and Canada and all those places that usually are like, no, you can't trade here. You can on 2bit. Now, if you want to use 2bit with AllTrading, you need to go through the KYC process to get that API key or API key. All right, let's get into my picks. So I have a lot of picks today. I imagine you guys do as well. If you have a coin or a ticker or a stock, which I'm now doing, that you're interested in, leave a comment down below, but make sure to add the $sign so that way I can scrape the comments easily. I want to make sure to say this in a nice way, but please be specific with it. Don't just say, like someone asked for Tron. Now, when I look at that and I see a $sign and I see Tron, I'm thinking, is that a stock, Tron, that I don't know about? Because I don't know basically any stocks. I don't look at the stock market. I don't track stocks really. But Tron to me is TRX. So just do a little bit of homework before you suggest, so that way I can accurately discern what you're actually asking for, okay? And if you do that, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and then consider sharing these videos by reposting, retweeting, emailing, whatever you got to do to help me reach my target of 100,000 subs this year. I want that silver plaque. Let's go. We're getting there bit by bit. Let's go. So first up is Sky. This is a chart that we've seen have an incredible rebound from the low on Friday all the way up 34% in about 4 days. Now, reality check. TBO resistance at 0.06936 is holding up. We saw it pierce this on Monday, going all the way up to 0.07, up 3% above it. Yesterday, it struggled to push up higher. It closed red, and today it's right below that level. Now, the way that you could trade this is if you're feeling like, okay, I think Sky's done here, I think it's pooped, then you could set up a short position. There's a chance that you'll get stopped out. And if you get stopped out, oh well, don't cry river, you just move on, you learn from it, okay? But a trade setup could be something like this. It just depends on what you want to do. Another reason why I think this one might be exhausted is on the 4-hour time frame. We have 2 TBO breakouts after a pretty amazing rally, up like 20% plus, which is typically a sign of exhaustion. And RSI, even though it pierced above our overhead resistance level on Monday, it closed back below it. I really don't see this thing shooting up a lot higher. I could be wrong because on-balance volume is very bullish. The other thing I'm seeing as well is that volume is falling down. So it looks like weakness is developing for Sky. Flare, these two are orange because of TBO close shorts, has these 4 TBO close shorts, actually 5, since Friday, which is insane in a very tight range. And it's looking at printing another TBT bullish divergence, which is a very bullish reversal signal, albeit very early, but it is, okay? Zero, this one is pumping like crazy today. This one had 2 TBO close shorts. This is not normal, just so you know, for the charts to print one of these, run back to the fast line, and then pump up 36%. It's not normal. The main thing to watch here, though, actually, there's several things. For one, this is a crazy pump at the beginning of the day. Again, if I go to the 60 minutes, right, in the last 2 hours since the day is open, it's pumped up 26%. That smells a little fishy to me. The price is also going up to our initial entry at 235, which was a great trade. Okay. Now looking at volume, yesterday's volume was incredible. at 37 million, where the average is 13 million. So it's basically 3 times the average, if I'm not mistaken in my math, just about. Now, when I see irregular pumps like this, irrational pumps going up to historical resistance levels like over here at 241 or even right here at 229, I start to get skeptical. It could still push up higher, but again, pumping this high at the beginning of the day is sketchy at best. Now, we do have on RSI, we have a very clear breakout here of resistance, and it's back to being overbought. Cool. We just have to track and see how this is going. I can say with confidence, I'm not going to see Zero's RSI go above 93.83. It's not going to happen. It's currently at almost 75, which is very overbought. We'll see what happens. It's risky trying to time the top. What would make more sense is to see how is the day going to unfold instead of trying to short it as it goes higher and higher. And if you're like, wait, why not just short it right now? Okay, let's invert the chart. Okay, we see it falling. Yes, you could buy the dip here as it's dumping, but if you see a chart dumping like this and you're buying the dip and it just keeps on dipping, right? That's going to be very dangerous for you for going long. So going short, it would be the same thing. Wow, it's pumping. I'm going to short it. Well, hold your horses, right? You don't really want to get into something too quickly. You want to wait for that weakness to reveal itself. So we're not seeing those signs yet, but keep an eye on it. BNB still has these TBT bullish divergences, which are very early bullish reversal warnings. We haven't seen anything happen yet, but BNB is kind of holding historical TBO support at 616. Aster is surprising me because yesterday it closed up almost 8%. More importantly, it closed above the 236, and look at this. It pierced above the daily TBO cloud, which is impressive. I'm honestly shocked. So the next target to look for Aster, is the 382 fib level at 80 cents, which is about 22% higher. And if things got nuts today, up here at overhead resistance, which is around 93 cents. I don't think that's going to happen. When we look at other indicators, on-balance volume is bullish again. It's above the white moving average, which is curling up higher, but we've seen this before back in January, and it got rejected. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? But it is a very interesting development for sure. And we have 3 days above this resistance level, so we're going to go ahead and dash that. Now, for some obvious bearish updates, Bitcoin Cash continues to be suppressed below about $540 over and over and over. I am betting against this horse. I don't think it's going to survive. I think it's going to fall lower. Hype. This one has now fallen below the daily TBO fast line. Boom. That's our target. Whenever we have the price going up here to the slow line, I'm looking to short it and rather take some profit when it returns back to the fast line, which is a 16% drop. Boom. Awesome. Now, it's not yet looking like it's going to bounce back on the 4-hour time frame. We might be seeing a pivot low, but the 4 hours is super duper weak. And note, the TBO closed longs warning us this bullish uptrend could be ending soon. That's exactly what it did. Okay. Tau, this one continues to fall lower. I still have a short open for this position, although it's only dragging lower. What I'm expecting to happen next is to see some sort of a bounce, possibly here at the low set on Friday at 142, but inevitably lower. Kind of like back over here, the low on the January the 31st. We saw it kind of drag and then finally just plunged a lot lower. So we're going to see stop losses triggered here around 143, and it'll probably drop a lot lower, in my opinion. Night continues to droop and drag lower. It's about 12% in profit, which is exciting. The main thing to be watching here is, do we see any signs of bullish momentum switching? Nope, not yet. On the 4-hour, the price is back below the cloud, confirmed TBO open short. On the daily, still strong bearish. RSI is admittedly moving up higher. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows. So that's good bullish structure, to be honest. So we could see another push up to the fast line, which would be lower than our entry. But inevitably, I think that night's going to be falling down here to support at 0.04133. And if not, you get stopped out, oh well. Quant is still coming back up here to play with the fast line, but it's ignoring the truth in that the slow line is extremely macro bearish. So yes, it's pushing up here. Yes, it could still push up higher. So it's a risk to short here. The price is also, by the way, right at historical TBO support, which is now resistance. Notice how the price hasn't closed above this level. That's a big deal, okay? So I am betting against quant. I think that quant will fall from here. We'll see what happens next. Lighter, this one continues to fall. It's going to be heading down here to the low set on Friday at 1.325. Fartcoin, which is our barometer for risk on appetite, is falling lower. Yesterday, it dropped 7%. I need to just remove that Fibonacci level. We have 2 breakdowns as well. I think this one's going to be falling a lot farther. River, this one actually did what I was waiting for. If you guys have been watching this, I said, well, I'm not really looking to short River here. I would much rather wait for it to push up here to the 236 level. And it actually pumped up a lot higher yesterday, up 19%. The main thing to watch now is how is RSI going to react? How is volume going to react? And if it can actually push up here to the fast line, I would definitely be looking to enter a short. Right now, I'm in a wait and see moment. But you could also enter a short early on the 4-hour time frame because the price is being suppressed under TBO resistance there. NFT, massive drop, TBO breakdown cluster on the 4-hour. BAT, this one on the daily time frame printed a TPT bullish divergence. So why is this pink? Why is it bearish? Because I'm expecting the price to come up and kiss or tag the TBO fast line and get rejected from there and fall lower. H, this one is at the top of the cloud. This is the setup that we look for and we identify for weakness, okay? I still have my H position open, by the way, over here on AllTrade. I'll show you. So I sold, admittedly too early. That's okay. But don't worry, because I entered way up here. And I already took profit again at 23%, which is awesome. So I am at a very, very healthy area. You can see my break even here, which means that the price would have to shoot up another 15% for me to be at break even, to make no money. But I've already made money on this trade. It's good. I've already made, what, $213 on this, which is cool. So I'm expecting the price to revert from here and to fall lower, which is why I have this other take profit target here, okay? So going back to TradingView, I'm expecting it to fall back down. Also look at RSI. Even though it's above right now, it is right at overhead resistance. I'm also paying attention to volume, not looking that great. Those are telltale signs. F, this is a chart that pushed up on Friday to the fast line, Saturday and Sunday on the fast line, and now it's starting to droop lower. Zebek, same story, starting to droop lower after tagging the fast line. You guys getting it? Now, XMR Monero, this one on the weekly time frame has a TBO close long. So I'm waiting for the price to come up here and tag or close the close long, which is confusing to say that because it sounds like it's good closing it, but it's not really. But there's a chance that XMR could push up to the fast line on the weekly, which is at 397 before falling lower. MYX, this one has a TBO close long over here on Tuesday, early morning. And since then, it has fallen 15%. This is one that I've been trying to bet against, and I lost. I got stopped out. And of course, now it's falling lower. All right, so a couple of other updates. CC on Bybit, this one is above overhead resistance, which is interesting. So it's opened above it today. I'm seeing RSI kind of just hang out in neutral zone around 50. Volume is still really weak. So I'm still expecting CC to fall lower, but it's just not happening yet. I saw someone asking questions about Pippin. Pippin had a pretty big pump yesterday. RSI is at 73.53. Volume went crazy. If we look at the TBO, it pushed well above the fast line and well above the top of the cloud. So what do? Well, if you had a short position open for this, you should have used a stop loss, and a 23% stop loss means you're wiped out. So if you get stopped out, you move on. So what would I do next? Well, the next thing I would do is I'd be looking for Pippin to make a push up here to overhead resistance, which is around 496. And I would never, ever, ever put my entry right there at that level. I'm always going to go a little bit lower. Okay? Why would I do that? Well, because it's pumping for no good reason. Again, Pippin is just a meme coin. So that's how I would trade it. Mon, this one actually I got stopped out on, but stopped out in profit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Over here on AllTrade. So check it out. I had my position open. I opened it on that tag to the fast line. On the daily, I took profit at 9%. I took more profit yesterday at 15%. And then see this green arrow right there? That's me closing the position in profit. So I just opened it up again. I closed at $177 profit, 11% in profit. And now I've opened up a new position here. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. It doesn't really matter. You move on. That's the risk we take in trading. But the reason why I'm taking another short position here is because Monad, I'm not really bullish on it. I don't think things are going to survive. I think things are going to fall a lot lower. And this was an irrational pump right up to 236, right up to resistance. That would have been a much better place to open up an entry. Oh well, so be it. Stable. Now this one is really interesting. Yesterday, crazy 32% move. This is what a short squeeze looks like. This is one we've been watching for a while. I still have my short position open and I actually just added to it because I opened a short way up here and I took profit, and now it's up here. I'm wildly in profit. So I'm actually added right here at 22, 23 or so, and now it's fallen a little bit more. Why? Because I've already secured profit. I took profit out here. I took profit out here. So now I basically had a position with 80% of it sold. So now that the price has fallen, or rather gone back to my entry, closer to it, I want to be selling, or rather using my profits to reinvest in the trade. This is essentially inverse DCA, except I'm shorting a market. Now, you still have to use a stop loss. You still have to use proper position sizing. You still have to have risk, reward, all that stuff. You can't be reckless in it, but I think it's a good setup for me personally. So that's what I'm doing. Now, for your picks, again, if you got coins you really want me to look at or stocks, leave a ticker down below. All right, XDC. Really similar setup to a lot of these coins that have shot up to the fast line and they're drooping and dragging lower. No different than anything else. I expect it to fall down here to support, TBO supports at 0.02949. FHE, Mine Network. Now this is interesting because yesterday it's up 26% and it's back to being strong bullish. That's cool. Note back over here though, the 6th, we have a TBO close long. So now that has been closed right here on yesterday's move. So what can we gather here from on-balance volume? Is there a bullish increase in volume? Nope, it's actually strong bearish because the blue line is below the white line, which is also pointing down, by the way. What about volume? Is it wildly accelerating? No, it's not. What about RSI? Well, no, it's not even overbought yet. So is this move realistic to continue? Maybe, but I don't see any demand or excitement around it. Aave, still very strong bearish on it. XMR, still expecting this price to come up and tag or touch the fast line and then get rejected and fall lower. This is actually a really interesting bear flag. Look at that. Which is perfectly acceptable for it to go up and tag the fast line today and break support and drop lower. Interesting. ACH, the fast line, guys, this is why the TBO is awesome. Look at that. Yesterday's move, it wicked up, wick to wick, 20%. Where did it stop? The fast line. Why do prices respect the fast line so much? I don't know. But this is why I love this indicator. Okay, so if we likely see a pump today, it will most likely go up here to the fast line. Does this mean I'm buying ACH? Absolutely not. Why? Because the macro trend for this chart is exceptionally bearish. So again, really similar to hype. See this? Price shooting up and it goes up here to the top of the cloud, loses the fast line, and it goes all the way back down. Oops, sorry. So could it be starting that move again? Maybe, but it won't go that high. It'll go as high as maybe 0.01165 or so. Solana lost more ground yesterday, down 4%. It's still looking pretty beat up, very strong bearish in terms of the TBO. On-balance volume agrees. Volume in general agrees. Look at the volume, just below average. It's very, very weak. And Tron, I'm still waiting on this extremely slow horse to fall a lot lower, but patience pays, as I say. Now, for some stock picks, we have LEU. This one is really choppy. It's very, very interesting to see this price action. Again, I also want to say flat out, the TBO is not great on stocks. It's good on crypto, which is 24/7 market, precious metals, 24/7 market, currencies, 24/7 markets, way better. But the gaps that happen in stocks, it messes with the TBO just a bit. So what I think is better to use is the cloud and the support and resistance levels. So with that said, it's still strong bearish on the daily. On the weekly, the TBO is actually a lot better, but we're not going to get those early moves. But it is in bearish consolidation mode after falling into it last week. The other thing to note on the daily time frame is that on-balance volume is quite bearish. So yes, it's kind of holding on. If it loses The 1.618, which is drawn from way back over here. Really interesting, right? Fibonacci extension, giving us a perfect target at 455 and now support here at 243. If that gets lost, it'll most likely fall down to 138. ASML, crazy bullish chart. Look at that TBO breakout cluster on the weekly. On the daily time frame, yes, it's short term, having a pullback to the fast line, but the main thing you need to know is that if all 4 lines are pointing up, any pullbacks to the fast line should be basically a TBO springboard bounce. Okay, and we haven't seen some of these in crypto for a while. But when the price falls back, retraces from this big high up here at 1,490, down here to 1343, and it comes back up, we want to be looking to take profit on that bounce up to resistance. Look at that, 7%. TBO springboard bounce, bada bing bang boom. QUBT, quantum computing, really interesting idea to be looking at this. I like where you guys are going with it. Unfortunately, it's a macro bearish chart. We also have breakdowns after losing support. We've seen this play out so many times in crypto. So if you're really excited about this chart, you might want to look at support here around 481 or so, historical TBO support. Really resembles the price action of Ethereum, to be honest. Really resembles Ethereum to me. If we look at the run up, from back, actually the weekly chart for Ethereum, excuse me. See that? Isn't that weird? Let's go to the daily. Really, really weird. Guys, honestly, when you chart and you look at charts all the time, it's like, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. That's kind of the goal. APLD, Applied Digital. It's strong bullish. It's very similar to Nvidia in a way. I have a close long and it just shot right back up. It's probably in the same area. One thing to be aware of, though, is that there's a decline here in RSI. So there's a resistance level to watch. And there's also this resistance here from 94 up here to 84 or so in that range. So just be aware that there's some weakness on the chart. It's not super duper strong bullish. On balance volume also agrees with me on the daily time frame. Wolf, crazy breakout yesterday. TBO breakout confirmed. It's right at resistance. This actually could push up a lot higher on the daily time frame. On the weekly, there's weekly resistance up here at 39.57, which is an increase of approximately 134%. Wow. And we have a TBO breakout cluster on the weekly. NVTS, Navitas, there's weekly resistance at 1330 if it happens to pump up that way. It's looking pretty choppy in the short term, so I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen. Again, when the TBO cloud gets really compressed, we should be on the defense, not looking to get into anything. When the cloud is super duper spread out like this, all 4 lines going up, I have way more confidence to buy the dips. But when it's compressed, it means that there's a lack of a strong trend. NEE, TBO breakout, not a perfect cluster, but it is a breakout, super strong bullish cloud, super crazy strong bullish on the weekly as well with 2 confirmed TBO breakouts. It's approaching historical resistance here at 93.65, and it looks like it has the potential to push up. Just curious. Let's go ahead and change that to my template. So yeah, the next targets to look for this guy for breaking out higher, 112 and then 143, according to the 1272 and the 1618. NLR, very strong bullish chart, temporary double top for now. Not terrible though, because what will most likely happen with this is an ascending wedge. So we're going to go ahead and draw a trend right here to here. So it's kind of flat. Then we have a low here to here. So this is a bullish wedge. So eventually the price is just going to come down here to test again. It'll try again, and eventually it will push above. That's statistically what happens. Bounces off of previously broken resistance to confirm a support, and it pushes up higher. CEG, very strong bearish. This is the one chart that's like, oof, that hurts. So if you're like well, I really love buying the dip, that was it. The dip was on Thursday last week. The first target will always be the TBO fast line. Can we all appreciate for a minute? Look at this. Historical TBO support, a break below support, 3 TBO breakdowns in a row. The price plunges 17, 16, 17% over 9 days, 8 days. Guys, the TBO is not messing around. Okay, so if it pushes up Fast line, fast line, fast line. CCJ is back above the cloud. It's okay-ish. Actually looks like uranium to a degree because it's pushing above resistance. On the weekly time frame, it is strong bullish. It does have a TBT bearish divergence confirmed last week, but super strong bullish weekly cloud. RSI did have a pullback. We're seeing a decrease in sequentially lower highs as well. That's something to pay attention to because this is a sign of weakness, gradual. And there's also this level here of support, which has gone pretty parabolic. If that breaks support, watch out. Awesome.